So I just wanted to sit down for a minute to talk about Sony's Spider-Man cinematic universe that oddly lacks Spider-Man for whatever reason. Because when you sit and think about it, it's really bizarre. So it's been around since 2018, and they have a total of 3 movies currently out, and then Craven, which would make 4, and then El Muerto next year, which would make 5. And to be honest, they're like 1 and 5 for me right now. It doesn't make any sense how we have these standalone villain movies with no Spider-Man in sight or even reference to, outside of that weird Morbius trailer that came out a while ago with the Spider-Man PS4 Raimi suit, which was just a very insane marketing stunt that I'm not sure they should have even gotten away with that. So they have these movies that are loosely connected to each other, and none of them are really great. Like, I think majority of them are pretty bad. Like, I enjoy Venom 2. Like, that's probably my favorite of the bunch, but even that movie has a good fair share of problems. So let's start from Venom 1. Came out 2018. Yeah, it's not good. It's not a good movie in the slightest. It has a lot of cons. Now, there are things I do like about it. I do like the fact that this is the best look an on-screen Venom has had so far. Like, Venom in Spider-Man 3 didn't really look like Venom. He was too small. He wasn't as muscular. He wasn't bulky. And he screeched for whatever reason, even though Venom doesn't normally screech. That was something. I think Tom Hardy was really bad in it. He put on this weird accent that made him sound like a crackhead, and I don't understand how the director or whoever's behind that even let him get away with it.
This guy, he is all the way bad, Jack.
Like, it's really fucking funny sometimes. Like, he really walked on set and said, like, I'm a rat, I'm a reporter. It's like, dude, what the fuck is... What? Throw that shit in the trash. Tom Hardy's performance was not good at all. I enjoyed Venom, at least. Like, he was cool. He was fine. It's a passable movie. Like, you aren't gonna be seeing peak cinema, but it's a okay watch if you have nothing else going on. The villain of the movie, Carlton Drake, which I had to actually Google his name because he wasn't memorable at all. He's just another generic CEO sciencey guy that is prioritizing research and development over human lives, which we've seen in Jurassic Park, we've seen in the other Spider-Man movies. Like, this isn't anything new, but hey, Sony loves making these archetypes. So Carlton Drake was there, and then his symbiote, which was Riot, which, I mean, Riot's whatever, he didn't really leave much of an impression on me. And the final fight in the third act in Venom was probably one of the worst fights I've seen in any movie. Like, I'm not even exaggerating when I say that, because it takes place at nighttime around a space shuttle, and you have a black CGI goo monster fighting a grayish silver CGI goo monster, and they're like intertangled with each other, and you get like their forms and their weapons and shit. Like, it's a visual mess, and it was definitely hard to tell what was going on at points. It was just all over the place, and was definitely something that should have got cut, to be honest. Like, they should have done that shit over and had it maybe take place in a different setting that we can actually see what the hell was going on at. Yeah, overall, Venom 1, not a great movie, but it was the start of their universe, so hey, we figured that they can only go up from there. They kind of do, but then they kind of don't, because their next movie is Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage, which is honestly okay. I like this movie. I think this is, again, my favorite movie in the universe, which honestly isn't saying much, because when you consider that the other movies in the universe were dog shit. Yeah, Venom 2. I love Woody Harrelson as Cletus. I think he is damn near perfect casting. He can really bring this loony, like, manic energy to the character that I think properly like translates to how he was in the comics and into the cartoons as well. So I thought he was great and probably my favorite part about the movie. Tom Hardy was better, still had a bunch of crackhead energy, still acted like he drunk like 10 cups of caffeinated coffee, but you know, he was passable at least. I loved his dysfunctional relationship with Venom in the movie. I really thought that was like the highlight again. Just seeing them interact with each other, hearing them play off each other, and surprisingly, like I found out like pretty recently that Tom Hardy played Venom in that movie too, which is kind of cool when you think about it, like him talking to himself. So that was something, I guess. Shriek was in that movie for whatever reason. She shouldn't have been. She was incredibly miscast too. Like I don't even know why they had that character there. But yeah, like that was probably the best movie they had in the universe. The only other thing that brought it down for me was how it was only PG-13 versus where Craven is R-rated, and that doesn't make any sense to me because you would think that their first rated R movie would at least be Venom, because Venom, like in the comics, he does some pretty gnarly things to people, and I get taken out of the movie when I see Venom bite someone's head off and there's not a drop of blood in sight. And I had the same problem in Let There Be Carnage because like there were a lot of cool scenes of Carnage just tearing up people and killing them, especially like in the prison, but there was little to no gore or blood at all. And I understand they're trying to maintain their rating, you know, for I guess mass appeal to general audiences and whatever, but come on, it just seemed like such a wasted opportunity. But other than that, I enjoyed Let There Be Carnage and thought it was a pretty decent film. But then they lost everything because they made Morbius, which is everyone's favorite superhero, anti-hero movie. Yeah, I don't know. It's bad. Everyone knew it was going to be bad. Like, no one thought that film was going to be good in the slightest, and it wasn't. But at the same time, it wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, I've seen worse movies. It's like fucking Man of Steel, I think, is worse, but that's neither here nor there. I'm going to get so much shit for that. Jared Leto seemed like he was sleepwalking through his performance. Like every other scene he was in, he seemed like he did not want to be there, or he just had no idea of what he was doing. The guy from Doctor Who, I can't think of his name, he played Milo, and he was having a blast, man. You can tell he was having so much fun being that character and just doing whatever, because no one gave a shit about this movie. Like not him nor anyone else behind the creation of it. It's really funny how people gaslit Sony to putting this movie back into theaters after it flopped the first time, only for it to flop again. Like that is still probably the funniest moment on Spider-Man Twitter for me personally. Yeah, Morbius sucked, was not good at all. Then the end credits, spoilers, had Michael Keaton's Vulture from Spider-Man Homecoming make an appearance because of the whole Doctor Strange spell. And it was so inconsequential. Like, I don't know what they were doing with that. I don't know what their plan is moving forward with that. It seemed like they shot that at two different times. Like, you had a camera in front of Michael Keaton, and then you had a person behind it just reading off lines to him.
All I got here has to do with Spider-Man, I think. I'm still figuring this place out, but I think a bunch of guys like us should team up. Could do some good.
Intriguing.
And you did the same thing for Jared Leto. Like, it did not seem like they filmed that in the same room whatsoever. It was really jarring, and honestly, it's out of place because, again, it didn't lead anywhere yet. And maybe there'll be some type of payoff for it in the Craven movie. I don't know. I don't know what they got planned. I don't even think they have a plan. I've been seeing a lot of people talk about how Andrew Garfield can be Sony's Spider-Man for the universe, and I don't want that to happen. I don't want to see that. I don't want that for Andrew. Andrew's been in a lot of good movies lately, and I think he'd fuck it up if he went back to Sony's universe. Like, I don't have any interest in seeing a TASM 3 at all. Like, him being No Way Home is fun, and it is great for fans of that iteration of Peter Parker and Spider-Man. I even love a Spider-Man and Peter Parker, but again, like, TASM 2 did so much damage to the point where I think his whole Spider-Man iteration should just be kept at having cameos in other Spider-Man media. I think it would work best that way. Same thing for Tobey Maguire. Like, I don't need to see a Spider-Man 4. Don't even really think a Spider-Man 4 would work nowadays, but what do I know? Like, maybe it would. I think what they're doing now with the Spider-Verse movies is the best case scenario, and after Beyond the Spider-Verse, I just wish they would honestly just try and make more animated movies with the Spider-Man IP. So, like, not necessarily get a Spider-Man movie with Miles anymore after Beyond, maybe with the other Spider-Man iterations. Like, that would be pretty interesting. And, like, they can kind of just keep on making Spider-Verse related movies for a long time, because there's so many things you can do with that. And I'm curious on seeing what they plan on doing after the Spider-Verse movies are done. Like, after they finish this trilogy right now. Like, what are they going to do moving forward outside of those villain movies? But yeah, guys, so, like, this has been me rambling about Sony's lack of a universe, lack of a Spider-Man universe, and just how I feel about it, and I guess just my thoughts on it moving forward. We'll see what happens. We'll see if Craven is good. Probably won't be, but I'll be there to check it out and more than likely make a review on it. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. In the comment section, tell me how you guys feel about their universe. Tell me what movies in it you like and what movies you dislike. Should be an interesting conversation for all three of you that comment. Guys, follow me on Twitter at GeoFilmworks. I rarely post, but when I do, it is pretty funny. And yeah, guys, I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.